Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name's Anastasia. I am a financial advisor, a real estate investor, and a legal administrator. I started my channel to share my knowledge and experience with people that could benefit from it. I'll be discussing a lot of different things, including finance, real estate, and lifestyle. Hope you enjoy my channel. Looking forward to this journey with all of you. Hello, everybody. Today's video is going to be a bit of a story time. I'm going to be sharing a university experience that I had, a not so pleasant university experience. I'm just going to start off by saying that I live in Winnipeg, Canada, and I decided to pursue my university goals in Saskatchewan. You might ask why I did that, and I will respond by saying a very little reason, but I definitely wanted to be a little bit more focused. I had my properties in Winnipeg, so I knew that I would be have some distractions. So I wanted to be more concentrated. So then that's why I chose to go a little bit away from Winnipeg and pursue it in Saskatchewan. I ended up going to two different schools. I went to University of Saskatchewan as well as I went to University of Regina. My goal was to get a law degree. However, things just didn't work out perfectly the way that it should have. So I ended up getting a bachelor administration degree with a major in finance. Well, I was going through my journey. I did, like I said, kind of have some rough patches. In particular, in University of Regina, has a little bit of a small town mentality, so I kind of expected some of the things. I kind of anticipated it. I had some discrimination with done by some of the students. Some of the students would look down on you and not see you as valuable when they partnered up with you, and some of them were blatantly obvious. It was quite sad at times, but you know what? You definitely just continue to push through. Don't let that get the better of you, especially being a person of color. It's something that we tend to have to deal with. But the most surprising thing for me was actually when I dealt with discrimination from a professor, and then also an associate dean, which was who was connected to the professor. So I took a course that I did not need to take, but I just wanted to fill up my course loads. So I ended up taking a course that was done or taught by this professor. This professor was very, very interesting to say the least. The first time I took the course, I took it in a shorter term, which was the spring term, and I just didn't know. I didn't really. I thought I didn't grasp like the concept of the course, and that's why I ended up failing it. I did make efforts to communicate with the professor. However, I didn't really get good responses from him. He also didn't make me feel the most comfortable. So I just ended up, doing the course how it ended up working out, and I ended up failing it. So I decided to take it again in the fall term, which was obviously a much longer term. I thought that could help. And of course, I was trying to get a better grade so that it could take over from the other grade, like, and I could hopefully, not have to deal with that other grade. So I pursued it again in the fall. During this time is when there was a lot more that got exposed to me about the behavior of the professor. I would say, like, between halfway to closer to the end of the course, I was trying to reach out to him for help, and I came on a day like a day that there wasn't class, and kind of coordinate with him to get help. And again, he made me feel uncomfortable. He kind of, tried to make it seem rushed and everything. But there's one thing that stood out to me. He ended up stating to me that you took a course with my wife, and you did not attend that course very often, something to that nature. So I looked at him very oddly, and I was, of course, uncomfortable about it. And yeah, that kind of set the tone for the rest of the time with him. Yeah, I don't think we really pursued much of the kind of any more of the questions or much of the, I guess you could call it teaching, or at least creating understanding that he was supposed to do after that kind of conversation that we had. So I ended up, going home, and pretty much from that day forward, things were very, very awkward between us, as well as very, very uncomfortable. He would give me weird looks. He'd make me feel extremely uncomfortable, and he would also kind of do different things to make me uneasy. It got so bad that I ended up making an appointment with the associate dean, and when I made that appointment, I was surprised to find out that that dean also was absolutely horrible towards me. When I went to the appointment, he did not even, give me a welcome, or didn't even seem welcoming. He was completely just mean towards me. He immediately took the professor's side, and at some point in our conversation, he ended up mentioning that that professor was actually a dean at one point as well. Which obviously, right there and then, I realized, obviously we're not getting anywhere with this. I did end up getting quite emotional during the time that I spoke to the dean because of the way that he was behaving. I was so, like, completely shocked to be dealing with that. Obviously, the fact that I ended up already having to go to the dean to speak about a professor, that already made me feel so vulnerable and, just not in a good place. And then to have now the dean actually behave worse than the professor was very, very shocking to me. I ended up leaving that meeting feeling pretty defeated and upset. After the meeting, I believe it was like literally like maybe a couple minutes after, I was walking in the hallway, and I ended up running into that professor. And that professor started saying, like, the word haha, as well as he started like giggling and just muttering things under his breath when he walked by me. So I don't even know if this was set up by the both of them, but yeah, pretty much immediately after I ended the meeting, he was right there and just taunting me. I decided that I couldn't just let this slide, so I made the effort to go to the student advocate person or department, and I ended up making setting up a meeting with a lady in that department, and she ended up disclosing to me that these two people in particular were actually somebody that or people that she heard about from other students as well, potentially even previous students, and she heard the same type of thing that they're doing. It worked out that I did end up failing that second time in that course with that professor, and I was in kind of a tough position because I had failed two times prior. So the business school ended up telling me that I am going to be kicked out of that school, like at least that department, or that program, sorry. But I really don't know for sure if that is exactly how it was supposed to go. Like, obviously, having these two people be in control of that definitely did not make me feel comfortable. Like, there's obviously is a toxic environment in that department, or maybe even the school as a whole. So yeah, I'm really not even too sure about the legitimacy of it. Nevertheless, I talked to the advisor or the advocate, and she ended up telling me that I should not pursue anything because, you're in a tough position right now. So you shouldn't be pursuing anything just to avoid further conflict. So because I, was thinking critically, and I realized that, they kind of got me in a very stuck position, I ended up not deciding not to pursue anything further at that time. So I pretty much just, did what got kicked out of the school, and I had to end up going to the art program. And in the art program, I had to do some courses in order for me to get back into the business school. So I, followed the procedure. I was kind of on my way to getting that done. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in one of the courses that I took, I got uh, alert that I there was plagiarism on one of my papers. Throughout the whole time that I've been in university, I've never had any issues with that. I try to make sure I, do my own work so I could avoid that. And then all of a sudden, after the incident that I already had in the business school, I'm now having all of a sudden an alert that I had did plagiarism. So this was kind of shocking to me. I ended up going to a meeting with one of the people in the arts department, and she looked over my documents, and by the end of it she did say that I don't have to worry about it, that there's maybe it was misinterpreted or whatever, and that's why it happened, but it's all good. So I was able to continue on with things, but I really have to think back now to see if maybe that professor and that associate dean actually had some involvements in me getting that kind of alert. Like it was like they were like trying their hardest to do whatever they could do to get me to fail and to get me out of my program. Lucky it didn't end up working, and I was able to successfully get back into the School of Business program, and I ended up being able to complete my degree. However, I went through a horrible, horrible experience doing that, and I really was able to expose a lot of toxicity in that university that I'm sure a lot of other people have had to deal with. And I made it kind of a thing to myself from that day that I will come back and be able to share this story and expose them for that kind of environment that they did, so I could maybe even see if there's other people that might be impacted. So that is kind of my story. It definitely was a very traumatic to me, and I because I wasn't from Regina, I had to experience it on my own. I didn't have any family or much support so close to me, and I'm not really a person that shares too much, especially with people that I don't know. So I really kept it to myself. And it still is impacting me today because those marks that I graduated with caused me to now have a lower GPA, for me to, and giving conflict for me to pursue my law degree. So it is something that definitely has had an impact on my life, and I still remember pretty much everything that happened very vividly. So it obviously is had an impact on me mentally as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share this story. I also wanted people to realize that even if you do go through things and you go through hurdles in your life and have some obstacles, you still need to continue to rise up, and don't let those obstacles get the better of you, because you can move forward still. They're not going to define you. So I just want to leave that as my last message. Continue to push forward no matter what you're dealing with and what is being put on you, and keep your strength so that you could do whatever you want to do in life. Thank you for joining me on my channel. Hopefully you're able to benefit from some of the information I shared. See you on my next video.